Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is bring you a closer look at the Danjo. This is their part number EL-103-609 Antique Brass Extended Lip Strike Plate. I'm going to remove this from the packaging so we can take a closer look at it. This is an extended lip strike. This is the EL-103, which is the EL-103 means its dimensional shape, its properties. Let's go over that now. This is a 2 1/4 inch tall strike, which is very typical and common for residential applications. 2 1/4 tall strikes with either a square corner or a radiused corner, and this can be done in a radiused corner as well. That would be a 1/4 inch radius is what that is, which is achieved when the router with a 1/2 inch router bit cuts the frame and the operator or the company doesn't go back and radius that corner at all. Square that corner. Its length is 3 inch. Now you'll take note that the overall width of this is about 3.5. That's because strike plates are measured from the center line of the screw hole to the edge of the lip. The lip length, center of the hole to the edge of the lip. That's how these are defined. Okay. We will occasionally refer to these as a full lip strike. You can see why we would call it that. We'll occasionally refer to them as D strikes. You can see why we would call it a D strike. Made of 18 gauge material, and it is solid brass with a 609 finish. And 609 means antique brass. And you can see all this scratched surface is just a peel away protective film. And I've got a piece or a corner of the 609 revealed there. 609 actually means 3 things: solid brass base material, antique brass finish, lacquer applied. So this has a clear lacquer that's been applied to it. There is, and screws, by the way, are included. They look like they're number 8 by 1.1 inch flathead sheet metal screws, self-tapping sheet metal screws. That'd be perfect for a wood frame. There is a link below this video to a document called Template that will allow you to review the dimensional properties of the strike beyond what we've already talked about. It also refers to the other finishes that are available. 605 is polished brass, 609 antique brass, 619 satin nickel, 620 antique nickel, 630, which would be stainless steel with a satin finish, and then DU. DU is a dark bronze powder coat over a stainless base material. That if you had oil-rubbed bronze locks, that would be the finish most complementary to it, as 609 is a bit light to match oil-rubbed, although maybe not so bad. The 18 gauge is 50 thousandths. That means the thickness of this strike plate is the same as you would encounter on a commercial kick plate. There is also a link below this video to a document called Product Catalog where you can review all of the extended lip strikes from Danjo, of which they have a comprehensive offering of strikes that are just directly in the catalog, but also they have the ability to custom manufacture anything that you can draw. Now, provided those strikes are generally quite expensive because of the labor that's involved in setup and whatnot. But if you have a need where you have to get your hands on 50 custom strikes, it's not so bad when you work that high cost out over the entire quantity that you're looking at. Now, where would you use an extended lip strike? Well, a 3 inch strike like this is possible to use. Well, there's instances when you would use it. Possibly the most common application might be if you had a standard condition, except that the casing was unusually thick. So just in your mind's eye, think about the door closing and then the latch bolt making premature contact with casing. You would want a piece of strike plate like this so that to prevent damage to the woodwork. Okay? Although 3 inch, that's a lot. That tells me that another scenario you might deal with is where you have a pantry that has been built into a custom kitchen where it all is there to blend into itself and you don't really see much of the hardware at all. That would be normal, where you've got a door closing up to a large, deep piece of casework, and that latch bolt's just going to be scraping itself across the face of that wood all the way till it gets to that point. Another scenario, and very common as well, is when you have an inset door application, meaning imagine when you're standing on the pull side of the door and you run your hand over the face of the door and the frame, the door's pushed in a little bit, like 3/32 of an inch, a small amount. Sometimes aluminum doors and frames are flush, but generally doors are inset. Wood doors, steel doors are generally inset. Well, imagine if that inset was 1.5 inches. Why would it be that? Well, it could be. I've been in homes that are well over 100 years old, that are 3 stories tall, and the wall thickness of the first floor walls is incredibly deep. You'll very often see doors set into the center of those deep openings, and speaking of that application, if you have that, you might need wide throw hinges as well, so that the door or doors can get not only open to 90, but then back further away. That would be a condition where you'd need an extended lip strike. There's others, but nothing else comes to mind. So, regardless of why you need an extended lip strike, here's Danjo's 3-inch and a 2 1/4 height with a square corner and an antique brass 609 finish. Finally, there's a link below this video. I had mentioned earlier to the product catalog where you can look at all of it. There's also a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Danjo products that we sell, but also a link to their full-line catalog, as well as their website, but then also all of the subsections of all of their catalogs. And if you know the name Danjo for anything, you probably know them for their door reinforcing wraparound plates and latch protectors. But extended lip strikes, that's them too, and many other trim and auxiliary hardware. I'm partial to Danjo, and it's because they're good people with a good product and good, prompt, reliable, predictable lead times. And they have the ability to produce a rabbit from a hat, so to speak, occasionally. So we appreciate that. If you have any questions on the Danjo EL-103609 brass strike plate or any other Danjo product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.